get set up real quick, guys. Real quick, guys. All right, yeah. Let's check on some brackets, guys. We got some. Well, yesterday we already know that Ohio State lost. That didn't really affect me that much, but today we got Kansas losing to Eastern Washington. That would totally screw up my brackets. That would be a bracket buster. I think I have Kansas going to the Final Four. I did say that my brackets could change based on their health, and it looks like that's playing a factor. But you know, I already did the video. I got to stick by it. So Kansas losing today would absolutely be a bracket buster for me. So y'all let me know how your brackets are going. Let's check some scores real quick. Y'all doing well or not so well in the bracket challenge? I was able to get in 14, and last time I checked, I have 3 that are okay, 97%. But this Eastern Washington Kansas game is a big deal. I don't think in any of my brackets I had Eastern Washington beating Kansas. And in a lot of my brackets, I had Kansas going, Sweet 16, Elite 8, and even Final Four. So, it's not good for me. Not good at all. I kind of put my faith in the Jayhawks because they were struggling in the middle of the season, but then towards the end of the season, they started to catch fire. They grabbed the 3 seed, 20-8 record. That's a good record. So, yeah, they made me buy into that. Not a smart decision so far. LSU beating St. Bonaventure. I had St. Bonaventure winning that. They're a hot team. Wouldn't hurt me all that bad, but these losses, man, they do add up. Even if they don't bust your brackets, they can add up, and it can really get on your nerves. So let me check my brackets real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. How's everybody doing today? Y'all doing all right? Crap, I forgot I wasn't automatically logged in on ESPN. I don't remember if I even remember all my stuff. Crap. Well, let's go back. I don't want to do this live. Personal information sharing live. Not a good idea. I'll get on here later and make sure I'm logged in. I didn't realize I had to log in on my laptop. Who says my bracket went from flawless to damage control. I know this is about as wild of a March Madness as I've seen in a while. I think part of that is the seeding. They got the seeding messed up. Looks like Colorado. I'm gonna pencil in Colorado real quick, guys. That's a done deal pretty much. Georgetown's magical run is over. So, yeah, it was a big-time fluke that they won the Big East Championship. Fluke. We see it. All right, I went ahead and penciled in Colorado. So the left side of the brackets are done. We have Baylor, Wisconsin, first matchup for the second round. Villanova, North Texas. Texas Tech and Arkansas. That's going to be a good game. Florida and Oral Roberts. Bottom half, we got Illinois, Loyola, Chicago. 2 Illinois teams. Great matchup. Oregon State against Oklahoma State. Old Big East rivalry. Syracuse and West Virginia. Should be a good game. And then Rutgers and Houston. I still don't think that Rutgers belongs. The problem is they got matched up with Clemson, and Clemson, they never have any offense. they have a great defense, probably Virginia caliber, but they definitely do not have any sort of offense. And Rutgers just needed a little bit of offense. They got a little bit of offense, and they beat Clemson, which makes me mad because, in my opinion, Rutgers should not have been in the big dance. Now people are going to be like, well, they won their first round game, so you were wrong, Gold and Blue, dude. No, I was not. This is March Madness. We've already seen crazy things happen already. It means nothing. Even if they win the next game, it means nothing. Teams can get hot. Their resume did not warrant them making it into the big dance. I stand beside that, and I will not back down. The Big Ten was way overvalued in the big dance. I mean, you had teams that were 15 and 12, 15 and 11. Just sheer nonsense. But, they had great wins, so I guess their losses don't count. They just had some great wins, right? It's getting to the point of nonsense as far as that goes. Kansas down by 8 right now. St. Bonaventure trying to get back in the game. Now they're only down by 7. Florida State, it looks like UNC Greensboro is trying to make that an interesting game. I think at one point Florida State was up by double digits earlier in the first half. But it's a close game now. 3 points. I don't think that would be a bracket buster for me, though. I did have Colorado over Georgetown. I had Florida State over UNC Greensboro. I definitely had Kansas over Eastern Washington. That's not looking good at all. They're down by 8. I had St. Bonaventure over LSU. That's not looking good right now. And, 31-22. They're up by 9, LSU. LSU has a great offense. I'm not going to lie. They have a great offense, but their defense is not good at all. The team that I'm keeping my eye on is Arkansas. Arkansas, I have them as a Final Four team. I don't know. Texas Tech could be a difficult matchup because Texas Tech has a great defense. Not really. Their offense isn't all that great. And then on the flip side, Arkansas, great offense. Defense, not bad. So I think that matchup favors Arkansas. But Texas Tech looked really good yesterday. I actually had Utah State beating them. They looked good. Oh, man. Yeah, Nate, I feel you. Once your brackets are busted, you're just like, screw it. Let's bring on the upsets. Come on, my brackets are done. Let's just let the floodgates open. That's not a bad mentality once you start picking up some L's in this bracket challenge. And the crazy thing is, you're allowed to make so many brackets, and usually I max out. I think it's like 25 or 30 you're allowed to make. With my channel going on this year, I didn't have the time to really do that. But still, when you make that many brackets, you try to think of every single scenario. Like, all right, well, I didn't have this upset in this bracket, but I'm going to do it in that bracket. Well, when it comes to these 15-2, 14-3, even 13-4 matchups, you still can't get it exactly right. Maybe you'll flip this and get it right, but then you flip that and get it wrong, or you keep that the same and you get it wrong. The recipe is crazy. You just can't predict the craziness. I did see one guy predict Oral Roberts beating Ohio State, and that was Mike Vick. He's a YouTuber. He was at the Slob Olympics with me in Atlanta. Good dude. I got to give him credit. He picked Oral Roberts, but the rest of his brackets are trashed, just like the rest of ours. But as far as picking Oral Roberts over Ohio State, the only guy that I saw do that. So I do have to give him credit for that. Good job, Mike Vick. Great upset pick. It looks like Kansas is starting to battle back. Now they're only down by 6. Trying to make things interesting, I think. I just need them to win. I mean, even if they lose in the second round, just don't bust my brackets in the first round. That sucks. 12 perfect brackets left. I wonder what their algorithm was for that. That's 12 perfect brackets. I'm sure that's not going to remain the same. I'm sure that number will eventually be 0. after the first round, that's probably going to be cut in half. And then, Sweet 16, maybe down to 1 or 2. And then by the end of the whole thing, it's going to be done. The first round's not even over. So that tells you how crazy things are. Only 12 perfect brackets exist. And the first round is not even over. It is nuts, guys. Nuts. I really need Kansas to win. I really do. That's when I didn't suffer from Ohio State losing to Oral Roberts. I didn't have them going very deep. That was fine. No bracket busters so far. If Kansas loses, that will bust my brackets. I had them going to the Final Four. Probably not a wise decision looking back now, but it is what it is. You try to make an educated guess. It's crazy. And I don't want to go chalk and just have all 1 seeds in the Final Four, That hardly ever happens. I don't know if that's ever happened. Probably has, but I don't know. So you try to figure out the matchups, the regions, who might have the edge in certain matchups and stuff, but you never can tell. Colorado looking really good. They blast Georgetown. Not sure what's going on in that game. It's been stuck on 33 seconds left in the second as far as ESPN goes. Let me try to check that out real quick. Maybe they've updated it. I mean, I've already advanced him, so let's see here. Yeah, there we go. It's official. Oh, man, they got blown out by 23 points. Yeah, that's they picked the worst game of the year to have their worst game. That's not good. 39%, 33. Look at Colorado. My goodness, 60.7% from the field, 64% from 3-point. If Colorado plays like that throughout the tournament, they'll win the national championship. You cannot defend against that. Now, they will come up against better defenses. I don't expect them to keep shooting like that, but that right there is mind-boggling. 60.7% from the field, 64% from 3-point. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that as a final statistic. I've never seen that. I'd have to go back in the history books to look at that one. That is a high percentage. That's bad defense on Georgetown. Either Georgetown just had really bad defense or Colorado was on fire. So I don't know. Sports Prod says Patrick Ewing might be out. I think Georgetown getting to the Final Four, or not the Final Four. Georgetown winning the Big East Championship and getting to the Big Dance probably saved his job. And they have a lot coming back next year. Big East is going to be super interesting next year, guys. Super. You got Georgetown's going to be better. Providence going to be better. Marquette's going to be better. And then, of course, Villanova, Creighton, St. John's, Seton Hall. That league is actually stacked. It does not get as much credit as it should. Georgetown eked their way into the tournament, and then you have Villanova and Creighton. I think St. John's got shafted. Who was that other team? St. John's. Can't think. Dadgummit. It was somebody else besides St. John's. Pac-12, yeah, they're actually surprising people in the tournament. Let's see here. Scores. So, for the Pac-12, let's go back to yesterday. Well, I know UCLA beat Michigan State, and I was happy about that. Then you had Colorado today. Did they play yesterday? Villanova, North Texas, Utah State. Oregon State, yes, that's right, Oregon State. And I did correctly predict that 12-5 upset. Tennessee was overseeded. They are not doing well at the end of the season. Oregon State on fire. They won their tournament 17-12. Compare Oregon State to Georgetown as 12 seeds. Oregon State came in at 17-12, and I think Georgetown came in one above 500. Oregon State definitely a better 12 seed than Georgetown. That seeding also didn't make any sense. I'm telling you, the NCAA tournament committee this year made no sense with their seeding, none. With the exception of the 1 seeds, and the 2 seeds were fine. I was kind of iffy on Ohio State. They proved me right. They were not a 2 seed, but things happen. The 3 seeds is where things got really, really crazy. West Virginia as a 3 seed, I actually didn't agree with that, especially having Oklahoma State as a 4 seed. That didn't make any sense. And then, of course, the 5 seeds didn't make any sense either. You had Tennessee as a 5 seed. That was ridiculous. Who was the other 5 seed? Villanova. That's fine. Who else? Stupid. There's Villanova and who was the other 5 seed I was thinking of? Hold on, guys. Maybe that was it for yesterday. The other 5 seed is today, I believe. Yeah, we'll go to today. Yeah, Florida State is on upset alert. UNC Greensboro has come back and made that a really good game. Really good game. Colorado, the team that just won, Colorado. I thought Colorado should have been a higher seed. And who am I missing? Nope, I think that's it. Florida State, a 4 seed. Oklahoma State, a 4 seed. Purdue, a 4 seed. Virginia, a 4 seed. There we go. So the 4 seeds, they were fine. It was when you get to the 5 seeds. Well, I think Oklahoma State was a 3 seed and West Virginia should have been a 4 seed. So that was my only beef with that. I actually think St. Bonaventure, Georgia Tech. St. Bonaventure, Georgia Tech, Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago, they finished in the top 25. And they get a 8 seed? That's ridiculous. At the lowest, they should have been a 6 seed. Personally, I think they should have been a 5 seed, possible 4 seed. That team looks good. And they beat up Georgia Tech yesterday, who were the ACC champs. I know Georgia Tech didn't have their one of their best scoring threats, but still, Loyola Chicago looks solid. Kansas down by 4 now. St. Bonaventure down by 9. Colorado wins their game. Things are getting very interesting for Florida State. They're only up by 3. They are on upset alert. We're gonna see what happens there. Drake over USC. I don't know. It depends on what USC team shows up. USC has shown they can be a really good team, and then they've had some really bonehead losses that knocked their seeding down. USC has the talent to win the Pac-12, and they didn't. For whatever reason, they went through these situations where it looked like they were so lethargic on the court. You looked at them, you're like, did they even want to play that game? So if they show up with the right attitude and actually wanting to be there, I have USC. But you better believe Drake is definitely glad to be there and wants to get to the Final Four. Drake wants to get to the Final Four. So this could be a battle of wills. I think the skill level is pretty close. Drake underrated. I don't think Drake should have been in the play-in game. I think that was sheer nonsense. That was laughable. I don't think Wichita State should have been in the playoff game. Play-in game, excuse me. UCLA shouldn't have been in a play-in game. Michigan State, if you're going to put them in a tournament, play-in game, yes. But those 3 teams, I think, earned their way past the play-in game. So I'm really trying to figure out what they were thinking with that. Man, Eastern Washington still up by 4. Kansas trying to close the gap. And I think Eastern Washington has been up as many as 7 or 8. So Kansas trying to close the gap just a little bit. Florida State stretches their lead. It's up to 5 now. So I'm starting to get a little less nervous, but still I'm not. Give me 1 second. What the heck? My hotspot went off. Stupid. Why did it do that? And how am I having a decent stream? Let's see. Let's change this back to... Alright, I think we're good now. Was I lagging back there, guys? Because I didn't even know my hotspot was off. Alright, so... Under 4 minutes left. Florida State up by 5. At the half, LSU is beating St. Bonaventure by 9. We're closing in on 11 minutes for the Eastern Washington game. They're still up by 4, so we might have a few more upsets in store for today. No lag. Appreciate that. Don't forget, you can always hit a super chat for whatever amount you want, and I will be specific on what you are asking, who asked it, and I will give you at least 5 minutes of airtime on here. So that's up to y'all. But as far as this goes, and y'all, the thing is, y'all saw my bracket video whenever the brackets came out. So y'all already know that when I reacted to that, it really did shock me. The seeding made no sense. The matchups made no sense. I think one of the things for the committee is they know March Madness is crazy. So, they're figuring, some craziness will happen, and it'll probably make our choices look correct. And in some instances, it did, like Georgia Tech getting beat by Loyola Chicago. Well, at the same time, Georgia Tech didn't have one of their best scorers, West Virginia, a 3 seed, Oklahoma State, a 4 seed. Well, West Virginia did spank Morehead State, but, Morehead State robbed Belmont of a spot. I think Belmont should have got in. Maybe in over a Rutgers. And then, Rutgers beating Clemson, that makes them look like they're right. They're still not right. Rutgers did not have the resume. Rutgers was hot at the beginning of the season and just fell off a cliff towards the end. Same thing with Wisconsin. If you look at Wisconsin, a fantastic start to the beginning of the season. But then they went like 4-8 in their last 12 games. So, I don't know. I'm guessing how you finish really doesn't matter as long as you have some good wins. That's all I can say. So let's look at the matchups coming up later today. At 3 p.m., we got Texas Southern, Michigan. Boring. Michigan will blow them out. 3:30, UC Santa Barbara, Creighton. I really don't know what to think about that. Creighton is a 7.5-point favorite. They've looked good and they've looked bad. Of course, they got beat by Georgetown in the Big East Championship. Iona, about Alabama winning that. They're a 16.5-point favorite. But then again, yesterday, Ohio State was a 16-point favorite, and they lost to Oral Roberts. So, I'm not for certain on any of these, to be honest with you guys. Drake over USC could be a definite upset waiting to happen. And I was trying to, figure out a great 15-2 upset. So my upset was Grand Canyon and Iowa because of the storyline and how good Grand Canyon's defense is. But now that the 15 seed Oral Roberts beat the 2 seed Ohio State, maybe that uses up the 15-2 upset, and now I'm going to look like an idiot because I didn't pick the Oral State upset, and I did pick the Grand Canyon upset. So I'm super nervous about that now. I had UConn over Maryland, but I've been crapping all over the Big Ten as far as Maryland, Michigan State, and Rutgers. Well, yesterday Rutgers won, so that was crap in my face. So Maryland will probably beat UConn and crap on me again. I had the upset of Ohio over Virginia, but Virginia's defense might show up and just shut them out. pretty confident about Missouri over Oklahoma, but we have seen stretches where Oklahoma got really, really hot during the Big 12 regular season. In fact, they swept West Virginia, so that one could look bad on me. Gonzaga over Norfolk State, not worried about that. UCLA, BYU. BYU is very underrated, guys. They get overshadowed by Gonzaga because Gonzaga is in the WCC, and BYU has actually held their own. They've had to play Gonzaga like, I don't know, three times. The first time they played them, they got beat pretty good, but the last 2 times they actually didn't look all that bad. But they get overshadowed because, it's Gonzaga, and Gonzaga is undefeated. So do not underestimate BYU. BYU could very well be a sleeper Final Four team. Keep your eye on them. And then you got UCLA, who just beat Michigan State in a very sloppy game. I don't have much faith in UCLA, but, they've already got 1 win under the belt. So things can keep going. I have the 14 Abilene Christian over Texas. I know Texas just won the Big 12 championship. Here's the thing, though. If you look at what's happened in the first round so far, the tournament champions are not doing so well. Georgia Tech for the ACC. They won the ACC tournament. They lost. Let's see, who was the other one? Who am I thinking of? Oh, Georgetown for the Big East. They lost. Now, Oregon State for the Pac-12, they did win. All right, so for the Big 12, it was Texas. So if they lose today, that'll continue that trend. For the SEC, it was Alabama. I really don't expect them to lose. Ohio State got to the Big Ten championship, but they lost. They lost yesterday. That would have been a crazy storyline if they would have won the Big Ten championship and then lost yesterday. Let's see. Pac-12, Oregon State, they won. They kept going. Who am I missing? Dadgum. I can't think. I know I got the Pac-12, Oregon State, yes. The Big 12, Texas. The Big 10 was Illinois. The ACC was Georgia Tech, and the SEC was Alabama. I got them all. I don't know what I was thinking. I got them all. All right, so Eastern Washington, Kansas game. 2-point game now. Kansas coming back. Florida State is extending their lead over UNC Greensboro. In fact, y'all give me a second. I need to switch my TV real quick. I switched it over to the Eastern Washington, Kansas game. Right now, they're trying to figure out something. I don't know what they're trying to figure out, but the refs are trying to figure out something. So, Eastern Washington is still up by 2. It looks like Florida State is trying to close in on their win. Let me check on that game real quick, guys. Let's see. I think I got it on the right channel. There's so many channels on that have all these games. You can't tell what. And yesterday, one channel said West Virginia versus Morehead State, which is the game I was looking for, ended up being Winthrop Villanova, so I had to look for a different channel. But they're all affiliated, so... Okay, so this is St. Bonaventure LSU. That's not the one I want. As of right now. Not the right one. Alright, I think this is it. Yeah, UNC Greensboro, Florida State. This is the one that's about to be over, so I'm kind of more intrigued. 33. It looks like 33 seconds left. Florida State up by 7. I mean, even if Florida State would have lost, it would have been a bracket buster. But it's always nice to have an extra win here and there, especially with how crazy things are going. Every win matters right now for my brackets. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm starting to gain a pretty good amount of followers on Twitter as well. So if y'all want to follow me on Twitter, it's the same thing, Golden Blue Dude. I usually tweet once or twice a day. Sometimes my videos, sometimes what I've seen. Stuff like that. So if y'all want to check me out on Twitter, same thing, Golden Blue Dude. It looks like they are looking at an injury or a foul or something. 34 seconds left. Free throws coming up, I think, for Florida State. So they could extend this, actually. It looks like he's icing his hand or something. I don't know. Yeah, Big Ten not looking good in the tournament. Although I'm not happy with Rutgers beating Clemson, but Clemson is not good offensively, so I guess it shouldn't totally surprise me. But I still stick by the fact that Rutgers should not be in the tournament. Oh, that dude's upper lip is busted open or something. He's got a big old band-aid for UNC Greensboro. Somehow his lip got busted open. I don't know. Free throws coming. Florida State trying to expand their lead. Hits the first one. Now they're up by 8. That might have sealed the deal, guys. Florida State might be moving on to the round of 32. Yeah, his upper lip or something got busted open. Florida State up by 9. Oh! UNC is starting to just... Oh, that was blocked. Yeah, it's over, guys. Nice dunk, nice dunk. Up by 7, Florida State. UNC still playing with aggression. They're not giving up. Quick foul. Florida State dude acting like the dude kind of hurt him or something. Looked at his hand. Whatever. Oh, Kansas is now in the lead. 64-63. LSU extending their lead on St. Bonaventure. 37-22. Dadgummit, they're offensively on fire right now. Wow. Florida State, more free throws. Oh, he misses the front end of the one-on-one. That actually helps UNC. So that helps UNC gain another point if they can hit a shot on the other end. Sinks the second on the back end. Why did they not roll the ball? He gave it to him, and now he's dribbling. You're wasting time. You're wasting time. You're wasting time. You're wasting time. What the flip are you doing? Circus shot. Game over. Oh, and Florida State with a reverse dunk. unnecessary, but I get it. Whatever. Florida State moves on. That's a win for me. I'll take it. Yeah, Florida State, Colorado. I think I had that matchup in most of my brackets. Florida State moves on. I'm okay with that. The Eastern Washington Kansas game. Looks like Kansas is taking the lead on that one. And this is a big one for me, guys. Yeah, I agree. Florida State did not look good. Kansas up by 4. Nice rebound. Can't believe I'm pulling for Kansas, but you know, with how crazy this tournament is, nice 3. There we go. For 3, 73-66 Kansas. They're heating up. Every win is a big deal right now because of how crazy this whole thing is. I think Eastern Washington just called a timeout. I think that was their forward that hit that. They got big guys that can hit that 3. He just squared up and hit it. So Kansas is now up by 7. I feel a little bit better about it now. A little bit better, but not out of the woods. Yeah, people are forgetting Michigan does not have Livers today. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. I think Michigan will be fine today and beat Norfolk State. That's one of the reasons why I didn't have Michigan going very far. A lot of people had Michigan going to their Final Four, national championship. I'm like, guys, they're missing a big look at Michigan's last 5 games. I think that's where 3 of their 4 losses. How many losses do they have? Hold on. Yeah, 3 out of their 4 losses came in the last 4 or 5 games. So they are not looking good. I do feel bad for you, Huffer Billy Paul. Number one, I didn't think Rutgers belonged. Their record 15-11. That's not good. Maybe if it was about the same as the other teams trying to get him, but there were some teams that had way more wins, and I know they go by resume, like good wins, no bad losses, but when you're only 3-4 games above 500, come on, where do you draw the line? But then Clemson, their biggest issue is their coach is not an offensive guy. He is not an offensive guy. Great defense. Clemson always has a great defense, but Clemson can never shoot the ball very well. Trust me, I live in the upstate of South Carolina, so I hear on the radio, there's a station up here, 105.5, The Roar. So, I know my Clemson athletics pretty well. And the coach for Clemson, he's not an offensive-minded coach. Definitely defensive. I think the thing that Clemson is caught in right now is Brad Brownell does get them to the big dance, probably every other year, something like that. And for Clemson, that's good enough. So they're in this gray area of, do we keep Brad Brownell because he is bringing Clemson some success. Clemson's not a basketball school. They're in a tough ACC. They've been making the big dance fairly consistently, not really having any deep runs. They had a good tournament a couple years ago, but other than that, not much to talk about. Or do they take a chance on another coach that's maybe hot in the mid-majors or in the group of 5 and try to get an offensive-minded coach here in Clemson? So, if you're okay with how Clemson's going, then, keep Brad Brownell. But if you think you can do a little bit better as far as getting an offensive-minded coach and, getting some halfway decent shooters. That's Clemson's biggest problem. They can never get the good shooters. He teaches great defense. Recruiting is his big Achilles heel, and of course offense. So, I mean, if you're a Clemson fan, if you're okay with how things are going, then by all means, stick with him. But if you want to take a chance on a guy that has a hot name going on in the mid majors, I would go for it. Seriously. Yeah, Brownell. The weird thing is Brad Brownell, his name gets put on the hot seat like almost every other year, and then Clemson goes to the big dance, and his name is taken off the hot seat. And then the year after, Clemson looks terrible, it's put back on. So it's this catch-22. It's like every other year, he gets to the big dance, doesn't do it. And the year after, Clemson looks terrible, gets on the hot seat. It's just a crazy... I've never seen a college basketball school... Clemson's not a college basketball school, but what I'm saying, their college basketball team go through what Clemson's going through right now. It's like they can't really make up their mind. Like, they get close to pulling the trigger maybe, and then he gets them to the tournament, and they're like, okay, maybe we'll keep him. He got us to the tournament, and Clemson's not a basketball school. I think Clemson needs to have higher standards than that. I know you're focusing on football right now, which you're doing great in, but you got to take pride in all your sports. And Clemson takes pride in their baseball too, so Clemson basketball could be better than what it is. Don't just be like, oh, we're lucky to get to the big dance, one out of every 2 or 3 years. That's fine with us. You can't be okay with that. So until Clemson comes to that crossroads where they're like, all right, we need somebody that's going to take us deep into the big dance, then it's never going to happen. It's like Clemson, as far as basketball goes, they're happy with a high level of mediocrity. They're not good, they're not great, but they're not like just plain mediocre. They're on the high end of mediocre. They get to the big dance, once out of every 2 or 3 years, and they're happy with that, being on the high end of mediocrity, and they seem to be okay with that. So, I mean, that's on them. I think Clemson could do better. I think Clemson fans think that their basketball program could do better, but the university itself has actually got to try. You gotta take chances. You gotta put effort into it, not just we got Brad Brownell. He's doing okay. Let's just coast through this. Hopefully the fans will stick by us. Can't be like that. So it's up to Clemson, and I think Clemson can do better, but I think they're scared. They're like, they don't want to go back into the crapper, because Clemson has been in the crapper in basketball. So I think they're scared that if they do pull the trigger and make the wrong hire, Clemson basketball is going to go back into the crapper. Clemson has invested all this money into renovating Little John Coliseum, so they don't want Clemson to go back into the crapper and maybe lose some donors and sponsors and all that stuff. So maybe that's the thing that's keeping them on the big time foul on Eastern Washington. He flat out tripped the dude. I don't think I've ever seen that. Other than the guy from Duke. What was his name that everybody hated a couple years ago? Can't think of his name. He did it all the time. Grayson McCall. That dude was just a dirty player. They showed the replay, though. I don't think it was that dirty of a play. I think it was just a bang-bang play, so I take that back. But Grayson McCall, that dude was dirty. If Kansas could get Rex Ryan or Marvin Lewis, that would immediately help their recruiting. I will say that. I'm not high on both of those two coaches. I don't think they're great coaches, but as far as name recognition goes, That's who they're recruiting? How did they pull that off? How did they get Marvin Lewis and Rex Ryan to even come to their recruiting room or interview room? I gotta give it to Kansas on that one. That's not bad. That is not bad. Huffer Billy Paul. I agree. At first glance, it looked intentional, but after they showed the replay, I don't think it was intentional. I think it was just two players going after the ball, and the defensive player hit the offensive player. So, incidental. But it was weird. At first glance, it did look like it was, intentional. Could have been a flagrant foul. So, Kansas. Now they are stretching the lead. Now they are up by 12. Feeling a little bit better, guys. Feeling a little bit better. They got to close this thing out, though. And Eastern Washington answers. Big time 3. Kansas still up by 9, though. Y'all don't forget to hit that like button. It helps these live shows get recommended by YouTube, and we can gain a bigger audience. And if you haven't, hit the subscribe button. I do videos just like this every day. Well, not live shows. This is March Madness, so I'm doing live shows a lot. But I do regular videos every day. Sometimes college football and sometimes college basketball. So if that's what you love, college football, college basketball, you should hit that subscribe button for real. There is no reason why Clemson shouldn't go after higher names. I think they're just scared that they're going to make the wrong hire and go back into the crapper, especially after, they have just invested a ton of money into Littlejohn. I think it's more out of fear. I think Clemson is scared of failing miserably, so they're happy at a high level of mediocrity every year. That's the only thing that I can think of. That's the only thing that really makes any sense. Otherwise, it just doesn't make any sense. Kansas up by 10. And one. Now they're up by 12. He's going to the line. 3:26 left. Kansas up by 12. This will help my brackets if they hang on. This will help my brackets tremendously because this would have been a bracket buster for me. So if Kansas hangs on, still no bracket busters so far. Still no bracket busters. Let's go. I'm not in that category of giving up and just saying, give me a ton of upsets yet. I'm not there yet. My brackets are not busted. So, I'm still into these games. This is a big one for me. Kansas would have lost, then I would have said, yep, just upsets from here on out. Don't care. Give me the upsets except for West Virginia. And West Virginia win the national championship. I'd be good with that. But with Kansas hanging on here, you're going to see a little bit more emotion from me and wanting my teams that I picked to win. Florida State holds on. That's a good win for me today. Colorado wins. That's a good win. That keeps that particular bracket intact. Because I had Florida State versus Colorado in the second round. So that's perfect. What kind of job would have to come to him to get Huggins to move to the NBA? No job. Huggins will not leave West Virginia. This is his last stop. He's a native of West Virginia. He had stops at Akron and Cincinnati. He's getting older in age. He interacts with the younger guys much better than, say, NBA type team. So there is no scenario, and I'm not just saying this because I don't want him to leave, but there is no scenario. It would be like trying to think of a scenario for like a Roy Williams or a Mike Krzyzewski type of deal. They're just not going to leave. They're lifers. That's their job, and that's their last stop. So I don't see any type of NBA situation that would get Bob Huggins to leave. I mean, he has got it. And plus, you got history to look back on. You saw Rich Rodriguez leave West Virginia for Michigan. He failed miserably. Now, John Beilein, he left for Michigan. He did all right. But I think he regrets switching over to Michigan as well. And he was younger. Coach Huggins, he's getting older. He might have, I don't know, 5-10 years left if we're lucky. I'm hoping. So as far as him leaving West Virginia, that's just not going to happen. There is no scenario. He's got it. He's got, and this is not talking about his specific character. He doesn't desire control or power or whatever, but he's got everything made. He is good to go. He's got control, power. He's got the money. He's in his home state. He's bringing success, and he actually wants to get West Virginia to a Final Four national championship and win it all for the state, not for himself, not for name recognition, not to get to the next level, but he's trying to bring a national championship to the state of West Virginia. That is his goal. This is his last stop. Even if he wins a national championship at West Virginia, which I think it's possible, doable, hoping it does happen, even if that does happen, he's not going to go because West Virginia is the end-all, be-all for Bob Huggins. So, yeah, no scenario I see for Coach Huggins leaving. Washington cuts it to 9 points with that three. It is now 85-76. 3 minutes left. Still some time for Eastern Washington to pull this out. Huffer Billy Paul says, I would take Huggins, but he is a lifer at West Virginia. Absolutely. You are correct. But there are some mid-major names out there that Clemson could go after. I think that's where, isn't that where Brad Brownell came from? Like a lower level, maybe not a mid-major, but a group of five, something like that. Eastern Washington with a chance to cut into this lead even more. Kansas needs to start knocking down their shots again. And a foul by Kansas, you idiot. That was even off the ball. Why would you do that? That is the worst thing you could do, Kansas. What the flip are you doing? If Texas loses tonight, I think Shaka is gone. I 100% disagree. I think Texas winning the Big 12 tournament saved his job for the next year. Really, if you look at it, Texas was looking extremely good until the COVID thing with Shaka happened. Whenever Shaka had COVID, that's when Texas had their little dip. He came back from COVID, and Texas got things going again and won the Big 12 championship. I think Shaka's good right now. I really do. Even if they lose in the first round, that's going to stink for Texas, obviously. But he's doing a good job. He's still on an upward trajectory. Winning the Big 12 tournament, that's a big deal. You don't fire a coach after they just won the conference tournament. That's why I think Patrick Ewing is good for at least one more year at Georgetown. The record wasn't great, but they have a lot of good things coming back, and they won the Big East tournament. So, yeah. Yeah, Rick Barnes is a really good coach. He did a lot of good for Clemson. Clemson was actually having a lot of success for under Barnes, Rick Barnes. So, I think that's another fear of Clemson is maybe they're thinking if they go after another big name that they're just going to use Clemson for a stepping stone. They know that Brad Brownell is comfortable where he's at. He's not going anywhere. Higher level of mediocrity they're okay with. I mean, there's just so many things. I don't know. Personally, I think Clemson can do better. I just think they're holding on to him with fear, basically. So Eastern Washington just cut the lead to 7. A minute 40. They are trapping. Kansas just broke the press. They got numbers. Oh, wild shot, though. Got the rebound, put back in. Kansas up by 9. Eastern Washington with the ball, bringing it back up court. Dribble, pass. Oh, faked him out. Faked me out. I thought he was going for it. He's driving. Hop step, pass. Beautiful step. Beautiful backdoor cut. Nice high step. Backdoor cut all the way to the basket. Kansas still up by 7, though. Yeah, I think anybody, would be okay with a coach using them as a stepping stone if they bring success. You don't want to keep a coach if he's just going to bring mediocrity. You're just like, well, we just feel safe with him. Even though we don't have success, we feel safe. You don't sacrifice success for safety. That's what's going on in society right now. They're trying to convince us to sacrifice our freedom for safety. So they're emphasizing, you want to be safe, you want to be safe, you want to be safe, you want to be safe. So, sacrifice gatherings, sacrifice, you got to wear a mask. You can't be close to each other, stuff like that to be safe. So that's just stuff we got to deal with right now. Indiana basketball is a huge deal. I think the fact that Indiana hasn't been very good over the past few years has led people to believe that that's not a good coaching job. It is an excellent coaching job. Indiana is a basketball state. So Indiana will be going after, I think they'll be going after a bigger name. They better be going after a bigger name. Indiana can have success, big-time success. They've won national championships in basketball. If they're not going all out to find a great coach, something is wrong in Bloomington. And yes, going back to the question earlier from Humphrey Billy Paul about, no, JCP, sorry, excuse me, about what would it take for Bob Huggins to leave. So that's a good point, pointing out that John Beilein leaving for Michigan for Cleveland, he's doing horrible. He got fired. So the transition from college to pro is not easy. Most of the time, it's actually not going to work out. Nice pass by Kansas. Ate up some clock. Open look, couldn't hit it though. Jump ball. Whoa. So, I didn't know Eastern Washington was a full court pressing team, so. Eastern Washington with the ball back, 50 seconds left to go. Kansas up by 7. About 30 seconds ago, I thought this game was over, but Eastern Washington is pressing their way into making Kansas make mistakes. And they are converting on the offensive side. They need to make this shot on this possession right here. This is an important possession for Eastern Washington. Oh, almost a crazy pass. Big time. Oh. Rebound for Eastern Washington, fighting for the ball. Down to 39.6 seconds. Kansas up by 7. I am not rooting for the underdog in this one. I have Kansas going to the Final Four, so I need them to win this game. Oh, so they're looking at the who tipped the ball last right this second. They're trying to figure out who touched it last. That looks like it was off of Eastern Washington, but we'll see. We'll see. Chris Beard, Brad Stevens. Chris Beard would be an excellent hire for Indiana. He is doing awesome at Texas Tech. It looks like it was off of Eastern Washington. So we'll see what call. Oh, yeah, it is. So Kansas has it. Eastern Washington pressing. They needed that last score. Why are they not fouling? Kansas breaking the press. And the Kansas guy playing selfishly. Why would you not pass the ball and eat up some more clock? It kind of does get on my nerves whenever these teams just sit there and dribble hoping to get fouled. Like, if you're wanting the game to end, I mean, I get it. You're trying to make more points, but it plays into the other team's hand. They're wanting to foul you. They're wanting to stop the clock. So, the turnaround is you want to pass as many times as you can. Still try to make sure it's in the person who shoots the free throws the best whenever they do foul. But just dribbling it and hunkering down, waiting for the foul, I can't stand that. That's laziness. Get rid of the ball. Eat some more clock. Like, in this game. Like, the whole purpose of this game is to win it. The clock is your enemy right now. So, get rid of that ball. Eat, 3, 4, 5 seconds more off the clock. This could be down to 25 seconds. And with a 7-point lead, those 6, 7 seconds, it's a big deal. Big deal. It was really cool. Bob Huggins got his 900th win yesterday. Kansas sinks the first one. And Roy Williams, Mike Krzyzewski, Jim Boeheim. Those three congratulated, and they hit the other one. They congratulate Bob Huggins on his 900th win. So y'all should check out that video. Google it. It's out there. Kansas looks like they're going to win this. Up by 9, 24.7 seconds left. Scott Drew interviewing for Indiana tomorrow. How about that? Wow, I did not see that one coming. I'll be honest. I did not see that one. Makes sense, though, but I thought Scott Drew was going to be at Baylor for a while. Air ball. This game is over. Oh, they're still playing intense, though. 16.7 seconds left. Kansas up by 9. That dude looks like a mountain man. He looks like a dude that needs to be playing for West Virginia. Wow. This is a good game. Sinks the first one. Kansas gets up by 10. It looks like they're going to advance to the round of 32. I think that coach for Eastern Washington has a bright future too. I expect to see him in a Power 5 position soon. 16 seconds left. Kansas up by 11. It should be over. But I've seen crazier things. Remember the Reggie Miller? I think it was like 8 points in 6 seconds, something like that. So, yeah. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. He's going to drive. Makes the shot. 6.3 seconds left. Kansas up by 9. And they are going to dribble it out. Bracket not busted. Crisis alert averted. Kansas moving on to the round of 32. Time to write them in, guys. Where am I at? Kansas advances. They will play the winner of USC and Drake. And it would not surprise me if Drake won that matchup. The big one to look out for, in my opinion, as of right now, is BYU. I just think they get overshadowed by Gonzaga, but they are a great team. Held their own against Gonzaga. Keep an eye on the Cougars, guys. Possible Final Four sleeper. I am keeping my eye on them right now. All right, so we got who's this other team? So Florida State beat UNCG. Kansas beat Eastern Washington. Colorado beat Georgetown. It looks like LSU all over St. Bonaventure. Michigan not having any issues with Texas Southern right now. So let's see, we're going to switch it over to UC Santa Barbara versus Creighton preview. I don't think they're playing yet. They're about to tip off. Still going to keep an eye on that LSU St. Bonaventure. LSU up by 14. Not looking good for the Bonnies. And I was high on the Bonnies, so not all that great. Not a complete bracket buster, but not good news for me. Creighton and UC Santa Barbara. I have Creighton in this, but this is another one of those 12-5 matchups. You just never know. If Shaka Smart went to Indiana, that would be. I know a lot of people are saying that he could be let go on the hot seat. I think that's nonsense. If you see the trajectory that Texas has been on since he took over, and this year put into perspective that he had COVID issues, so he didn't get to coach for a couple weeks. And that was when Texas took their dip. When he came back, they were fine, and they won the Big 12 championship. So Shaka Smart is one of the best coaches in college basketball right now, in my opinion. I think he's doing fine at Texas. So, I think it would be wise for Indiana to go after that guy. He did great for Wichita State. He's doing great for Texas. Creighton nails a three. They're up 3-0. So that would be an amazing hire for Indiana. Kansas offered Matt Campbell from Iowa State huge money to leave Iowa State and go to Kansas. And he turned them down, and rightfully so. Look, Kansas, their facilities are bad. Their program is bad. Name recognition, bad. They're just a bad football school. So to get a good coach to jump from one team to Kansas, dang near impossible. I don't care how much the money is. But, maybe a shamed coach like you mentioned earlier, like a Marvin Lewis. Who was the other guy? Who was the other guy you mentioned? Marvin Lewis and Rex Ryan. Shamed names like Rex Ryan and Marvin Lewis. Those you could probably get there. They're looking to redeem themselves, take a very bad team and try to make them, halfway decent. That would. Oh, Creighton just tried a really good alley-oop and failed miserably. So it was actually funny to watch. That was kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you. Y'all need to look at these schools that aren't in a Power 5 situation in basketball and look at their stadiums. Look up Creighton Stadium. They have a great, massive stadium for a team that's in the Big East. Same thing with Villanova. Wichita State out of the AAC. They have a really nice basketball stadium. So these schools that are up and coming like Creighton and names like that, they have better facilities than you realize. This previous year, I decided to look at their facilities, stadiums, and Creighton really surprised me. I know they're up and coming. They're doing better and better. Name recognition getting better and better. I did not expect their facilities to be as good as they are. Providence has pretty good facilities. So, it kind of floored me whenever I looked up that stuff. Let's see. Looks like LSU is holding on to a 12-point lead against St. Bonaventure. About 6 minutes left to go in that. Wouldn't really be a bracket buster either way for me. Iona, Alabama tips off at 4. Drake, USC, 4:30. And then Grand Canyon, Iowa at 2 o'clock. USBC has the lead. They're playing really good defense. That's kind of surprising me. Creighton came out firing, but now UCSB, their defense looks really, really solid right now. It's crazy. Oh. An ill-advised shot by Creighton. That's what's hurting Creighton right now. They're taking ill-advised shots. Don't understand when teams start doing that, especially this early in the game. Come on, guys. It's ridiculous. So far, UC Santa Barbara is out-hustling and out-defensing Creighton. And now they have a 2-point lead. They can't hit their first free throw. A team like UCSB has got to hit every free throw possible to give themselves any type of chance of winning this game. That's a free shot. That's a free point. All you got to do is make it. He makes the second one. So UCSB is up by 3 right now. About 16 and a half minutes left to go in the half. So very early on this. We'll see how the upset alert ticks on this one. Kansas comes back and beats Eastern Washington pretty handily. I think it was a 9-point win. At one point, Eastern Washington was up by like 7 or 8. It was looking bad. That would have busted my brackets. I would have been mad. Oh! Nice move by UCSB. Turnaround hook kind of just flipped it in there. Creighton comes back out. They are out of control right now, guys. And they work it to the right wing, and he hits a 3. But out of control on the drive, though. Ridiculous. 97% bracket. Yeah, I have on my ESPN brackets, I did 14 this year. Usually I do more, but with my channel and stuff, kind of hard to do. Right now, 3 of my brackets are at 97% or higher, so, I'll take that. But no perfect bracket. I never survived the first round with a perfect bracket, even when I do, the max amount, 25. Y'all don't forget to hit that, charging foul on Creighton. I'm telling you, out of control. Out of control, and Santa Barbara is noticing it, and they're taking advantage. All he had to do was step in front of the out of control and took the charge. Hit that like button. Let's get this thing recommended, and we'll get a bigger audience in here. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. I do videos every day, either college football or basketball. After March Madness is over, I'm going to switch my focus over to previewing the 2021 college football season. I'm excited for that. Last year, I was able to preview, I think it was 75 of the 130 teams. This year, my goal is to do every single team. So I will have to immediately start after March Madness. So I'm going to look at the calendar. I know I have to do at least one a day. I might have to double up a day here, a day there. So I'll look at the calendar once March Madness is over, and we'll do previews for hopefully all 130 teams. If not, we'll knock out as many as possible. The big game to start the season, and I know pretty much everybody knows about it. Georgia, Clemson. I actually have Georgia winning that game because of talent and experience. Clemson lost a lot on offense. And I think the Miami-Alabama game is going to be much closer than people realize. Not willing to put money on Miami upsetting. No, I can't do it. But I will say Alabama losing pretty much all of their offensive production, and Miami returning pretty much all of their offensive production except for Breeden Jordan. And they got Charleston Rambo from Oklahoma, so almost an even swap. It's going to be a better game than what people realize. I think it's a coin toss. I really do. I think Miami is catching Alabama at the right time. It's the beginning of the season. Alabama is Alabama. They recruit well. So there's going to be a bunch of men for Alabama. It's not going to be scrubs. But the adjustment from the high school speed to the college speed, there is an adjustment period. And that's why Alabama doesn't win the national championship every year. They pretty much win it every other year. But whenever they're having to reload after a national championship team, it takes that next group, couple months, maybe the full season, to fully adjust to the college speed. And then the next year, they're good to go. Alabama wins another national championship. So I think there's several teams that could beat Alabama and give them one loss. I'm not expecting Alabama to have a bad season. They'll probably go back to the playoffs, but I don't think Alabama's going to go undefeated. I think they will grab one loss. Oh. He thought it was traveling and ended up being a foul on him. Wow. Chris Mack interviewing for Minnesota. Who wants to go to Minnesota? Jeez. That's just... Minnesota needs some major revenue to attract some good names there, because that's just not a very attractive job. And UC Santa Barbara with a nice alley-oop puts them up by 6. They're playing with some emotion. Oh, I thought that was a foul when UC Santa Barbara. They didn't call it. Wow. Creighton in a early hole. They need to settle down. They could emotion themselves right out of this game. Oh, man. The ball movement by UC Santa Barbara is impressive. Now they are up by 8. They are moving the ball. Wow. Taking some chances, and they are paying off. Oh, let's see. St. Bonaventure down by 14. 2.5 minutes left. Well, that pick is looking like it's not going to pay off. We'll see how it turns out. But it looks like the biggest blowouts, believe it or not, are the 8-9 matchups. LSU handling St. Bonaventure quite easily. Yesterday, Loyola Chicago handled Georgia Tech easily. Who is the last one here? And Wisconsin hammered North Carolina. Yeah, that is correct. The 8-9 matchups have been the biggest blowouts of this tournament season. That's crazy. So that tells you right there, they messed up on the seeding this year, guys. They did. I mean, we're seeing by these blowout scores that they got them messed up. I know March Madness happens, but y'all got to admit, this is a weird one that's going on this year. Man, I hate commercials. Hate them. Let's see. Nick DTV, I actually did a video on the West Virginia game earlier today. I think West Virginia had one of their better games, but definitely not their best game. I do think Miles McBride had his best game, but as a team, Culver and McNeil and Sherman had letdown games. They had production, but not high-value production. The guy that really surprised me was Jalen Bridges. That dude balled last night. So he is definitely looking like the 4-star recruit that we recruited. So that was actually a nice surprise. That means we have more depth than I realized. Osabwahi, he didn't foul out. That always helps. He doesn't give us much offensive production, but he's got good rebounding skills. He's got good assist skills, and he makes good decisions. So even though he doesn't score very much, he's a good decision maker. So whenever Osabwahi, and I've said this before, whenever Osabwahi doesn't foul out, that's when West Virginia has a chance. He didn't last night, and West Virginia took control about 14 minutes left in the second half. And now West Virginia has to take on an old Big East foe in Syracuse, that 2-3 zone. So West Virginia shot over 50% from the field and right at 50% from 3-point. So West Virginia had a good shooting game. The weird thing though was Morehead State shot better. They had 52% from the field and over 52% from 3-point. So the big difference was West Virginia turned them over 16 times and only hit 18 times, and West Virginia themselves only turned the ball over 6 times. So that was what really helped West Virginia in last night's game, because Morehead State even out-rebounded them 30-26. So defense really showed up last night, and that's what really helped West Virginia. And, of course, Miles McBride shooting lights out, having a 30-point game. Brad Brownell is returning, yeah. Saw that one coming. He got him to the tournament, pacified him for another year. So settle in, Tiger fans. Another year of mediocrity on the way. Yeah, Morehead State had a really good shooting game, better than West Virginia. We were just able to turn them over more and out hustle. West Virginia's hustle last night was amazing. Creighton with the 3, pulling in within 3. West Virginia just straight up out hustled Morehead State. And Morehead State was the team that knocked out Belmont in the Ohio Valley Championship game and cost Belmont a spot in the NCAA tournament. I think Belmont should have still got in. I think that was a mistake on the selection committee to not include Belmont. 26-4, they looked great, and they just so happened to lose the championship game. That's I do not agree with that at all. And then putting in Big Ten teams that are like barely over 500, that's just nonsense in my eyes. I don't like that at all. Now you're starting to put emphasis on good wins a little too much. You got to look at, they lost double-digit games. I mean, 15-11, 15-12, that's not good. That's not a tournament team. I don't care how many games they win in the tournament. That's not a tournament team. Purdue, they went back to early mid-season form whenever they were struggling. So I don't know why they all of a sudden decided to revert back to the earlier Purdue. Because there for a while, Purdue was on the bubble, and then they got really, really hot and gained a 4 seed, but for whatever reason they played like the earlier version of Purdue. Yeah, Maryland was one of the teams that I do not agree should have been in the tournament. Maryland, Rutgers, and Michigan State were my biggest beefs. Wisconsin was kind of on the bubble for me. 17-12, I'm okay with that. Of course, they blew out North Carolina. And, of course, North Carolina beats Clemson because Clemson has no offense. Kind of makes the committee look like they knew what they were talking about with Rutgers, but trust me, they don't. Michigan State gets knocked out by UCLA in the play-in game. And then Maryland will play today. So, Maryland, Michigan State, and Rutgers were the three teams that I had big issues getting in the big dance. And if y'all watched my live show reaction to the brackets, y'all know I had some big, massive issues with that. Just unbelievable, really. LSU knocks off St. Bonaventure. Time to pencil them in. So, Michigan should win over Texas Southern. They got LSU. Michigan better be able to shoot the ball well without Livers against LSU because let me tell you something. LSU is one of the best offensive teams in the nation. Right up there with, Arkansas, Baylor, Gonzaga, and Michigan and Illinois. So, Michigan will 100% be tested by LSU in the second round matchup. Purdue used to be a perennial powerhouse. People hated going to Purdue to play them. Yeah, I remember those days very well. And they did have a pretty good season this year. They just started off kind of slow, had a slump there, and then finished the season hot. And then, of course, right off the bat, first round, knocked out. North Texas is a decent team, though. I think the Conference USA got shafted severely. You had Western Kentucky, Old Dominion, Marshall, Louisiana Tech, a bunch of teams in Conference USA that could have made it in over those scrub Big 12 teams that made it. But they just overvalued the Big 10 this year. And beating your fellow Big 10 members was a massive deal. Whereas if you look at Conference USA, a bunch of teams with good records. So wouldn't that be good wins as well? You're beating teams with good records, even if they beat you back. Y'all have good records. Same with the Sun Belt. You're doing it with the Big Ten. Why are you not doing it with these other conferences? Now, if it's a conference that has, one great team, and then the rest are like, average, like 3 games over 500, stuff like that, I can understand. But if you have a conference that the A10, the Sun Belt, Conference USA, several teams that had really good records, why would those not count as good wins? I'm trying to understand their rationale. Yeah, I actually like that matchup between Ohio and Virginia. Ohio beat out Buffalo in the MAC championship. And that's another thing. I think the MAC got shafted too. Toledo won the regular season, 21 wins. They get beat in the MAC tournament, and they're not included in the big dance. Same with Buffalo. They had a pretty good season. They get to the MAC championship, and Ohio beats them. No bid. I don't understand it. UCSB still up by 4. Foul. I think he was bailed out on that one, though. I'm not sure about that call. What's going on, Stormzy? How's your brackets looking? Creighton is starting to get a little hustle in their step. I will say that. 19-14, 10 minutes left. 20-15, my bad. 20-15. That would be a huge loss for Michigan if Dickinson goes out or can't come back for the next round. Dickinson and Livers, that's bad news for Michigan, especially against LSU. LSU is a very hot shooting team right now, very. So if you had Michigan going deep, you better be really, really nervous about your brackets right now. Your brackets could be busted in the second round. I think they should be fine against Texas Southern, but the next round against LSU, you're gonna be sweating that game. I think LSU has a good chance of beating Michigan. Yeah, 3 of my brackets are at 97%. Don't forget, if you want to directly contribute to my channel, Golden Blue Dude, hit that super chat. Any amount you want. You can do $1, $2, whatever. Goes directly into Golden Blue Dude. YouTube does not get a penny of it. And right now, we're at the point where we just hit 1,000 subscribers. So all the money that I gain in revenue right now is going directly back into the show. So we can upgrade our lighting, audio, cameras, all that stuff. So right now, we're focusing on saving money to make production better. I think we're doing good with what we have, but I think we can do better. And that's always my goal, is always get better. Don't be satisfied for where you're at. Big time move from Creighton right there to put it in within 5, 23-17. That was a nice backdoor cut for Creighton. Dickinson with the ankle roll. Hey, JCP, put up your name real quick for your YouTube channel. That way people will know how to find you. He's got a YouTube channel as well, guys. I don't mind promoting other YouTube channels on here. As long as you don't try to totally, just take over the chat, I'm good with it. Dominic Bolick, 88. What's going on, bud? How's your brackets doing? Hey, Anthony JCP, put up your YouTube name so people know where to find you. New format games, Friday and Saturday instead of Thursday and Friday. Yes, I definitely like that better. I think that was actually a really smart move by the committee. I think they're going to make more money that way too, so I like it. Smart move. Creighton pulls within 4. Now they're down 23-13. I think Michigan will cruise past Texas Southern, but with those injuries, I think they could be in some big trouble against LSU, guys. Big, big, big trouble. Creighton is, right now, they're battling UCSB, down by 4, about 7.5 minutes left. UCSB with the ball. What? I thought they had a few more seconds left on their shot clock. I did not realize that. Dadgum. Okay, my bad. Anthony JCP YouTube channel. Go look it up, guys. Hit the subscribe button. He's got good stuff too. Me and him talk all the time. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We hit 1,000 subscribers this past week, so we're trying to get to 5,000 hopefully within the next, by the end of this year is the goal. 5,000 by the end of the year. I think we can do it. Can't do it without your help, though. I need your help. Nate Beast looks like he's looking for Texas Southern. He needs Texas Southern to win. That would be a massive upset, a 16-1. That's only happened one time before. The great thing for Virginia, who was the victim of the first ever 16-1 upset, is the very next year they were able to redeem themselves and win the national championship. So Yeah, I would be willing to go through a humiliating history-making upset to win the national championship next year. That would be fine. I would go through that. But we have a developing story in Michigan. Hutchinson rolled his ankle. We will see if he is good to go and if he will come back for the LSU game. They're already missing Livers. That would be another big hit for Michigan. And LSU is a legit offensive team, so yeah, big deal. I don't think Patrick Ewing will be fired. I think he won the he won the Big East tournament at Georgetown. He is very, very much beloved at Georgetown. Brought them a national championship. They got to the big dance. They did lose in the first round, but I think them winning the Big East tournament and getting to the big dance bought him at least one other year. Not to mention the other things that I said as far as him being an iconic basketball figure for Georgetown basketball. So I think he's fine for at least one more year. We'll see what happens though. I could be completely wrong. We'll see. Cat hair all over me, guys. These cats are shedding like crazy. The crazy thing about my cats is there's no season where they don't shed. They shed in the summer, they shed in the fall, they shed in the winter, and they shed in the spring. All over my golden blue dude hoodie. Which, by the way, we are working on setting up the shop for gold and blue dude merchandise. That should be up and running here in a few weeks. So you'll be able to get some merchandise, a hoodie, a cozy, a shirt, working on hats, all that stuff like that. So yeah, we'll be working on that soon. We got the Patreon page up and running. We're setting up polls, inside videos, stuff like that for members. Maybe some free merchandise for whenever you join the Patreon page. Just, you got to figure out different stuff to add for that kind of stuff. And like I said earlier, if you want to directly contribute to the channel in any amount, $1, whatever, just hit that super chat button. And YouTube does not get a single penny of that. That goes straight into the Gold and Blue Dude channel. And we are going to use that to upgrade all of our stuff. We're going to get better lighting, better cameras, better audio, all that stuff. My motto: always get better. Never settle. Never be okay with how things are. Even though we hit 1,000, always get better. There's always room for improvement. That's the only way you get better is by never being satisfied. Once you reach that area of, okay, I accomplished my first goal, I'm fine. We'll just coast from here on out. That's when things just kind of plateau or even start going back down. So you can't be satisfied. So these two teams are on a bit of a scoring drought. It's still 23-19 with about 6 minutes left. They're struggling right now. It's kind of boring basketball to watch right now, but good defense, so they got that going. So I will say this, as opposed to yesterday, today is completely different. As far as the big dance goes, no upsets so far. None. Chalk is winning. Colorado beats Georgetown handily. Florida State beats UNCG pretty handily. Kansas comes back and dominates Eastern Washington. LSU beats the 9 seed really handily. So today it looks like Chalk is more on line to advance. Creighton hits a bucket finally. They're only down by 2 now. Brent Brambles. This game is hard to watch, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, they are struggling offensively. Ay, 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 ay. Not good. (23-21). Oh, Brent Venables. Nah, there is no way Brent Venables will go to Kansas. There is no way. I mean, bigger names with more money have tried to get him out of Clemson. I think he's the highest paid coordinator in the nation, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it would have to be, I don't know. I don't even know. Not only would it have to be a big name, but it would have to be in a place that he would like to live in. I mean, it would have to fit his criteria perfectly for Brent Venables to leave. So, yeah, I don't know how much stock I would put into that rumor. And watch, it'll happen now because I said that. I just don't see it happening. That would be crazy. UCSB with a monster dunk now. 25-21. They are consistently staying steady above Creighton. Yeah, I agree with you, Jaden. I would probably rather watch a blowout. At least we'd be seeing a ton of offense. This is a defensive battle, which, you know, if you're a big basketball fan and you watch it all the time, you know, you appreciate good defense, but it's definitely not entertaining. Creighton backdoor cut from the 3-point line. They pull within 3, 26-23 UCSB. Michigan dominating Texas Southern at halftime, 42-24. But still a developing situation with Hutchinson out of the game. 3-pointer for UCSB, wide open, can't hit it. Can't hit the wide open corner 3. A little too long on that. Creighton with the drive, reverse, can't hit it. More defensive basketball. Oh, I've talked about Cade Cunningham. That dude is legit for Oklahoma State. That dude is going to be very good in the NBA. Calling an offensive foul on UC Santa Barbara. I think the guy was in the restricted area. I could be wrong on that, though. Huh. I don't know about that call, guys. I'm not sure about that one at all. It is what it is. All right, I'm about to roll out of here, guys, but I'll get on here later on this evening. I definitely have a live show coming up at 10 o'clock, just like I did last night. I'll have 2 shows going on at the same time, bragging rights on NBS Central and then my live show on YouTube. So come check that out. Depending on what happens throughout the day, I might be able to do another live show if some crazy things happen. We'll see. But for now, I'm going to get off here. I appreciate y'all watching. So don't forget to check out the one at 10.